So to connect to your Android Auto unit using your Android phone, we start by disconnecting the cable from the Android Auto unit. And then we need to go into the Bluetooth settings of the phone and connect to SYU Android, which is the name of the Android Auto unit. Then we just pair to the Android Auto unit, which has already been done here. And now it will work wirelessly. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you like today's video. If you like smart home and automotive technology content, then hit that subscribe button, because most of the time that is what you are going to see on this channel. Some of my viewers will recall several days ago when I released a video reviewing, installing and upgrading the air conditioning controller in a Maserati GranTurismo. I will put a link to that video below for anyone who is interested. At that time I said that the customer also wanted an Android Auto system installed in the same vehicle, so there would be another video to come. So to all my car-loving viewers that watch my Maserati air conditioning controller upgrade video, this is the next video, so welcome to part 2. In today's video I will be reviewing and installing this Android Auto system into that very same 2015 Maserati GranTurismo. And yes, as I said last time, it is the factory MC Stradale model, with a few modifications of course. And as promised to all those viewers, there will be a test drive at the end of this video. I would never break a promise like that. I don't actually know why you would want a stereo system in this car at all, because the sound that is produced from the exhaust of this car is absolutely incredible. And I don't think there is any other car on planet Earth that sounds as good as a modified MC Stradale. Okay, anyway, let's start off by opening the box and see what we have inside. Oh, it's a big box. Get this stuff out of the box so I can get rid of the box, as it's too big for the table. Is there anything under there? Nope. Okay. Goodbye box. And just like the air conditioning controller, it doesn't come with any instructions. It's going to be a great start to the review. Alright, what do you got in here? Okay, so the wiring loom. This looks like a radio antenna adapter. Some type of video cable for whatever. Another type of antenna. Some little CAN bus decoder box. And another wiring loom. And a tool for removing the factory unit, which I don't know why they supply that, because the units come out from the back on the GranTurismo, not the front, so that's not really going to be much help. But anyway, okay, and this is the Android Auto unit itself. Just like the air conditioning controller that we installed in my last video, this also looks to be pretty good quality. Okay guys, because it comes with no instructions, it does make the job of explaining the specs to you very difficult, but I'll do my best, so I apologize for any mistakes made, but there might be some. It's important to note that this is not just an Android Auto system, it's also CarPlay as well, for all you iPhone fans. Apparently it supports wireless CarPlay. Whether it supports wireless Android Auto as well, I don't know. We can only find that out by testing it, as there's no instruction manual to tell me this. It says it's designed for all GranTurismo models 2007 to 2017, even though it does say here 2007 to 2015. The weight of it is apparently 2 kg. It doesn't feel 2 kg to me. Maybe that spec is wrong. As I said before, there might be mistakes in this video. I don't have any instructions. The operating system is Android 13, so it's very current and up to date, as at the time of this video we are still all using Android 13 on our phones as well. The screen size is 9 inches and it is HD, high definition. Apparently it supports multiple languages. Resolution is 1024 by 600. CPU is octa-core, and this particular model is 1.6 gig, but higher spec models are available. It has built-in DSP, digital signal processing, so the sound quality should be pretty good. And the CPU must be reasonably powerful, as DSP is power hungry. I believe sound output power is rated at 45 watts by 4. As for memory and storage, there are several versions available, but this particular unit I have here has 2 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of storage. There does appear to be a card slot just here, but I have no information on what that can be used for. But I'm going to guess the storage is not upgradable, so if you want more storage and memory, you would probably need to pay the price for a higher spec model. That card slot might be something to do with the 4G as well, because it has built-in Wi-Fi and 4G. However, they do also mention something about 5G support, but without instructions I can't comment on that either. It obviously has a built-in GPS as well as Bluetooth. It supports steering wheel button controls as well, apparently, and it can also support panoramic 360-degree camera systems, but that's an extra option, so it's not included with this particular unit. I think that pretty much covers the basic specs, guys. So now it's time to get this installed. So let's go back down to the car and start the installation. And welcome back to the inside of the car. Now, just before I get too involved with this installation, I just want to make it clear that this is not just a stereo slash phone system slash navigation unit. It actually does also control other features of the car as well. And because the new Android Auto unit does not come with any instructions, and I can't find any information online about it, I want to know if the new unit is also going to be able to control these functions. I feel it's important. So I'm just going to make a record of that now. Sorry if this part is a little bit boring. I'm going to make it as quick as possible, but I just feel it's really important to put this in the review. So we're going to start off by turning on the ignition. Yes, this is the, ignore all the beeps in the background, this car is in a million pieces. This is the air conditioning controller that we installed last time. Isn't it pretty? Hopefully the Android Auto unit is going to be just as nice looking, and it's going to match the look of this as well. And if it does, it's going to look $1 million when it's all complete and back together again. Okay, so as I said before, it's actually monitoring data of the car as well. If you go into maintenance info, it gives you your servicing information, and then you come down to status of functions. You got speed limit, instrument panel buzzer, volume, automatic door locking, independent unlocking of driver's door, independent trunk lid unlocking, radio info repetition on instrument panel, navigation info repetition on instrument panel. Oh, it's just another feature of that. Telephone and day running lights. Okay, so obviously that's, some of those features are really important. So you are going to want to have those on the Android Auto unit as well. It's just something to note, guys, if you are installing one of these systems, be very, very careful that nothing gets scratched, because just like the air conditioning controller here, everything is shiny black plastic, and it could get damaged so easily. So be very, very careful, especially if it's not your own car, because if it does get scratched, there's no way you're going to be able to fix it. Okay, so the center dash is now out of the car. So now we've just got to undo these bolts to remove everything. It's a little bit annoying how Maserati do that. With most cars you can just remove the old stereo from the front, and again you can do that with this as well, but you can't do that until you unbolt it from the back. So that's why all this has got to be removed, just to replace the stereo. But anyway, that's just the way it is. That's the way it's designed. That's the way Maserati did it, so that's okay. One thing I just did notice is being a factory MC Stradale model, it's got the race button, which the standard GranTurismos do not have. That's an MC Stradale feature only. And the Android Auto unit does not come with a race button. So that could be an interesting problem to get around. Right, now with everything unscrewed, this all should just lift out from the front. and it does. Why is it sticking there? Oh, just a metallic thing there for the radio. Bend that back in, and it's out. Obviously we're going to have to remove the switch panel as well. Oh, that's actually unscrewed as well, so that should just pop out like so, and that's removed as well. Obviously we won't be using this again. Alright, I've just got the Android Auto unit laid out here on the floor, just to have a close comparison of this button problem situation. So this could get really interesting now. I wasn't expecting this problem. I wasn't thinking, obviously you can't buy this for a MC Stradale, because it's, they're not going to make it for that model. They're too rare. So they're all going to be for the standard GranTurismos. But anyway, so here is the factory switch control panel. So we've got the sport button here and the sport button here. So that's correct. We've got the park off button here and the park off button here. We've got the that'll be for the traction control, and we've got an ice button there. And so the problem just got worse. Okay. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Traction control, MSP. Oh, that'll stand for Maserati stability program, I think. So okay. So traction. So the only other button is the ice button. So depending on the way that's wired up, because obviously it just plugs in, I wonder if we can utilize that button as the race button, and then just get someone that knows how to re-stencil the names on the front of the button to race. Okay, so that's something we're not going to know until we actually have it in the car and we can test it, guys. But if we can change that ice button into a race button, this problem is very easily solved. Okay, right, so I've just got the two units, the original factory one here and the Android Auto one side by side, just to compare them for the mounting. And we've run into two more problems. One, we've obviously got the two mounting holes here, which look the same. The Android Auto uses like little plastic hooks that just hooks over the console part there, which is fine. As far as the mounting holes go, the screws, there's nothing up here at all. So that's that could be a little bit interesting. But anyway, the worst problem of all is, I'll just get this out of the way, is the Android Auto unit does not fit into the center dashboard at all. Obviously the shape of it is correct, but it fails against all here. So that's not good, because that means that now I have to cut all this out to be able to get the Android Auto unit to fit, which I wasn't planning on having to do that, but I guess we had a similar problem with the air conditioning controller, so I suppose it was only natural that this wasn't going to fit straightforward either. So I'm just going to do as little as possible. I mean, there's no option, it has to be cut out, so there's no other way around it. So I'm going to cut out as little as possible, and then I'll try it again, and hopefully the amount that you need to cut out is not going to be too much. Right, so last time I just cut this with a razor blade, although it does feel a lot more stiffer up here, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. So I might have to get a little saw and cut it with that. Unfortunately, there's more bad news. A lot of this has to be cut out. At the moment, I've just got it marked out down here and down here. So all this has got to come out, which is really bad news. And I've got a horrible feeling that it's even going to have to be cut out here as well to clear it on the side. But I'm not going to do that at this stage. I just want to test fit it first. So yeah, that's not good, because by taking all this out, it's going to take a lot of the reinforcement out of the center dash as well. So it's not going to be as strong. So when putting it back into the car, you're going to have to be very, very careful, because it's probably going to make it quite a bit weaker, and things might bend and flex a little bit more than what you would like them to. So that's really disappointing. As you can see, I've now just had to cut out this whole centerpiece of the center dash to try and make the Android Auto unit fit. And the bad news is, it still won't fit. I'm still going to need to cut out this piece here as well. So a lot of you will be thinking, well, but you've got the mounting hole here, what are you going to do about that? You don't need that mounting hole, because as you can see here, the Android Auto unit doesn't have that hole there anyway. And these two other holes here were for the mounting of this switch here, which is no longer used, so you don't need those anymore either. But you will need this one here because that's what bolts to the actual rest of the dashboard. So that's going to give it a lot more strength, which brings me to the next step. Has cutting out this piece here made it a lot more weaker? Yes, it has. As you can see, there's absolutely no reinforcing there now, and it bends very easily, which is not great considering I've got to take out this part here as well, which is quite thick reinforcing around here and here. But if you want to fit one of these Android Auto units to your Maserati GranTurismo, you don't have a choice. So, as I said before, I was going to use this hex saw. It didn't work. It's too big, so I found a smaller one like this, and it worked perfectly. Okay, so I've taken as much as I can off this little corner piece here. That mounting hole is vital, so I can't take any more off it. And it does seem to line up, well, on that side anyway. There's another hole here, mounting hole here, and that does not line up with anything. Even though I've cut this piece out here, it's nowhere near where the hole was anyway. So as far as using the mounting holes on this Android Auto unit, you're going to be able to use one. There might be a way to make this one work. I guess we're going to find that out. But yeah, I mean, if a little bit more of this corner was taken off, it would fit a little bit better. But I can't take any more off that corner, or the mounting hole will be useless. And because, as I've just found out, the fit is not that great anyway, it needs that hole so the unit can be pulled in tighter in that corner. I'll try and show you guys what I mean by the fit. Just take that washer off. So as you can see, it hooks over the center dashboard at the bottom there. And on the side here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this clearly in the camera, but that's not a gap, that's the thickness of the actual front fascia plate. It doesn't fit great on this side though. There's a bit of a gap there, so it's going to have to be pulled in a bit. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Along the bottom's fine. Okay guys, I'm now going to use well, if I can use the other hole it would be great, but I'm going to use the two mounting holes if possible. This one's not going to be a problem at all because it does line up. Obviously there's nothing on the other side, but I might be able to use like a large flat washer just to give it some support on that side there, because it does need it as far as pulling in at the bottom. And of course you can't use the factory screws from the car because they're just cap screws. So I found these little tiny ones which will screw into the plastic, because that's all it is, there's no thread in there or anything. Okay guys, I managed to end up being able to use both of these holes. Well, actually there was no hole there, all I've just actually drilled like a little hole through the material here, so I could get to the mounting hole of the Android Auto unit, and it has lined up. That one lined up fine anyway. Well, when I say fine, I mean the alignment's okay. I'll give you a quick look of what the alignment is like all around the unit. Obviously it's very flimsy now, so you're going to have to mount it in the car, but this one here at the top here might need to be spaced out a bit to get the alignment right. Around here it sinks into the recess of the center dashboard panel a little bit on the side, where it doesn't do that on the right hand side at all. As you come around the bottom, it's not too bad around there, and as you come on the right hand side, it's way overhung on the right hand side, as you can see. Once it's screwed down at the top, it should get rid of that gap there. Yeah, there should be no problems at all. Come around there. Oh, gentle, gentle, gentle. Oh, it's flimsy. It is flimsy. And at the top there, you can see how it kind of like, you might just have to see how it actually sits in the recess on that side. So like I say, you might have to space it out a bit. On that side there, no problems at all, sits on the top. So yeah, the fitment's not great, is it? But it's as good as you can get it. I mean, oh my god, that is so flimsy, it's scary. I don't want to even handle that anymore. Yeah, it's it fits, but it's not an amazing fit. It doesn't fit anywhere near as well as the original factory unit does. Okay guys, just to give you a quick run through of the wiring. Again, there's no instructions, so I've had to try and work some of this out by myself, or most of it out by myself. But I'll show you what I've worked out anyway, because it'll be a big help, considering that you're going to have nothing else to help you when you do if you do buy this. So this plug here is for things such as audio out, auxiliary in. I thought one of them was for the, oh there is actually, yeah, that one there. That's for CBBS in, so you could put like a camera into that if you wanted to. There is another one for camera though, so I won't be using that one for this car. This here is also attached to that same wiring loom. When you open that up, it's got the little SIM card holder in it for the 4G. So you need to put a SIM card into that if you're going to use that feature, of course. It's also got 2 extra plugs on that loom as well. Have no idea what they're for, because as I said, there's no instructions. So you've got the main plug here, which does all your power, speakers, ignition, ground, etc. And that also connects, some of those wires also connect to the CAN bus decoder box. Then there's another little plug that comes off the CAN bus decoder box and goes into here on the back of the Android Auto unit. Yeah, that's just another auxiliary inputs on the main power plug. Over here, which is just the antenna adapter, plugs into there. It's got 2 ends. You can either have the end or the end there. Maserati, I think, is that one there, so we will need to use that. This little, I'll take this out again because you can't see it. There's a little black stick looking thing here. That's the Wi-Fi antenna. As I said, it has got built-in Wi-Fi. And then we've got this one over here, which connects to here. That looks to be like the GPS antenna. And then we've got this one down here, which is the antenna for the 4G. I think, I'm pretty sure it is. And then this one here, obviously down the bottom here, is for the switch panel. Where's that gone? Oh, here it is over here. Obviously it's on a lot longer lead because usually the buttons are down the side here. It's mounted there, so you've got to get the plug over to it now. And it's for the connector for that, so it just plugs in. Okay, so as for the switch panel, that's just sport button, your traction control, and the knobs for the head unit. That just plugs into the factory plug of the car here, which is where the switch panel was on the car. You've got your aerial antenna plug, which they supply this adapter, this little adapter cable. You will need that as well. That plugs into the grey plug. And the most important thing is this little plug here, which comes off the CAN bus decoder. That plugs into the switch control panel as well. Again, your sports switch, your traction control, and the knobs and all that. If you don't plug that in, which I didn't have before, your knobs and switches will not work at all, like absolutely dead. And that's a problem I ran into, and that's the problem I wanted to show you guys if you were doing this yourself, because it's incredibly important to know that. As you might be able to see as well on the camera, hopefully the picture's nice and clear. I know it's a bit bright in the background. I'm trying to set up lights because it's getting darker. There are a few plugs, factory plugs of the car that you will no longer use. I think there was about 5 or 6 plugs which are no longer used. So for the new head unit, you're just using the power plug. So 1, the aerial 2, and the switch 3. And is that it? I think that's it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and that's it. So for this Android Auto unit, you'll be using only 3 plugs. Only 3 of the factory plugs from the car. I haven't done any wiring or made any modifications to any looms or anything. It is all just plug and play. Once you figure out how to do it, it's pretty straightforward, to be honest. Okay guys, and this is what the Android Auto unit looks like when it's installed in the car. Well, temporarily. This car's still in a million pieces. It's going to be that way for a few weeks because I've got a lot more work to do to this car. I'm going to turn the ignition on now. What you're going to see is what happens when the Android Auto unit is powered up for the very first time, because I've just connected the battery now. We're going to have a quick look through to see what we can find, and then we're going to continue by doing various tests on all the different features. So ignition on, air conditioning off. This is obviously the intro, it's not going to do this every time. Okay, and we come to the home screen. Okay, so we've got navigation, radio, music, Bluetooth for your phone, video. If we go along that way, there's another screen. You've got your internet browser, file directory, gallery. That's just a very simple operation guide. When I say simple, I mean simple. And your main settings. Then we can go into the apps, and as you can see, there's a whole range of things. Just focusing on the important things. You've got your auxiliary inputs, Bluetooth connection, calculator if you ever want to use a calculator inside your car. This is your link for your Android or iPhone. You've got your internet browser here, steering wheel controls, equalizer, file manager, gallery. You got your Google Maps. You got your Play Store, and you got your vehicle settings, voice assistant, and YouTube. Okay, and that definitely covers the basics. In the settings menu, it's important to know that the important settings, when you want to make like more technical changes to things, you go into the factory setting, you enter in the password, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 by default, and in here you will find a lot of settings. You can have a lot of fun in this section actually, and you will need to make changes in this section to get things to work. They won't just work, well, I mean, a lot of the stuff will work just straight out of the box with the default settings, but some of them won't do that, so you will need to play around in this section. Right, and now we're going to continue with the first test. Okay, the radio. Just find a station that we can listen to. Sorry about that. Let's find a station that we can actually listen to. Turn that up a bit.
Well, pay attention. Bond & Co have some new string action penned up. Don't be stupid. New spring loaded rocket shoe. Be quiet. New spring season bespoke fabrics, but you have to act quickly.
The built-in power amplifier, guys, is very powerful. This unit can go incredibly loud, so if you like listening to loud music and want to go deaf, you won't be disappointed by this unit at all. I'm actually very impressed by how loud this can go. I don't want to get in trouble with any YouTube copyright laws, so I won't be playing music on the device. So you have to take my word for it that it's loud and the performance is very impressive. Video playback and video streaming. There is a demo video built into the unit, as you can see now. Turn the volume up. I can assure you that this is definitely high definition. That picture is crystal clear. Even if it does not look like it is in the camera, I can assure you that is like really high resolution. I personally think that is really, really good. And now for the video streaming, I'm just going to go onto YouTube. Which was in here. Oh, hang on, am I connected to the Wi-Fi? I need to connect to the Wi-Fi first. Settings, WLAN, use Wi-Fi. Okay, connected. Now back into the. So I've just connected to the 5 gig network on my home Wi-Fi, not the 2.4 gig. Where are we? Into YouTube. We'll just go on to my channel, Short with Tech. And we'll just play a video from here, and that one will be fine. And we just turn the volume up.
See the 7 gifts 70% of people shopped for. What 60% of parents bought their.
As you can see, it's also displaying the distance on the screen. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Video streaming is pretty much perfect. I've had no problems with connection speeds or anything like that. Again, the video image is high quality, high resolution, sound is perfect. So yeah, I can't complain with any of this stuff at all. So that's another feature that I love about this unit. Okay, just sticking to the important features, guys. The next one is vehicle settings. If you remember earlier on in the video, I showed you that the factory system also recorded a lot of data from the car, such as mileage, oil. You could you could play around with a lot of the locking settings for the doors and the trunk and all that stuff. And I said to you that those features were, or some of those features were really important to have in the new Android Auto unit. And the good news is it's all supported. If we go into that one there, we can see that we've got this, just the basic stuff: engine speed, average speed, mileage, blah blah blah. If we go back to the other one though, and here, all those settings are also built into the Android unit. So you can change the languages, speed limit activation, temperature, oil, instrument panel buzzer volume, automatic door locking, trunk unlocking, parking sensors, daytime running light activation. It's all on there, guys. So everything that the factory unit had is supported in this new unit as well, which is great news. This next feature, and definitely my favorite, is it's got built-in Google Assistant. That's really good news if you've got like a smart home, because you can just basically back up to the garage door, go into voice search and say open garage door, and it will do that for you. You can obviously control anything inside your smart home, such as open your curtains, turn lights on and off. You can do anything you want. And this feature I've been playing with before and it works absolutely perfectly. I will give you a quick demo of it. We'll just use it to ask what time it is in Australia. What's the current time in Sydney, Australia?
The time in Sydney, NSW, Australia is 12:46 p.m.
As you can see, it works really well. I'll try it one more time. Ask if it's Will it rain in Sydney, Australia this weekend?
Yes, the forecast for this weekend in Sydney is 23 degrees with a thunderstorm.
Doesn't sound so great, does it? But yeah, that feature works great, guys, and the uses it has is just unstoppable. It's never ending. I love that feature about this. It's obviously got Google Maps and Google. It does have this operation guide, but it's just very simple. I'll just give you guys a quick look through it. Operation. Oops. Home. There's lots of things that you can go into. Radio. Settings. When I say it's simple, that's exactly what I mean. It's simple. It's not the greatest operation manual I've ever seen, but it's there if you need it anyway. So yeah, that's the operation manual. Okay, reversing camera. Now this car doesn't actually have a reversing camera at all. Well, not yet anyway, but I think the customer's going to want me to install one of those at a later date. So I've temporarily just got a reversing camera set up at the back just for the purpose of this video, so I can show you guys how it works. So normally obviously you'd put the car into reverse, which the reversing switch is just down here, and then the image would be displayed on the screen, as you can see. I'll just walk behind the back of the car so you can see how clear it is when someone's walking past. Okay, connecting your Android phone by USB cable. Earlier on in the video you may have noticed when I was showing you some of the wiring that there were two external USB-A cables that plug into the back of the Android Auto unit. That's what you use for connecting your phone to if you're using a cable, because there's no front USB port on the front of the unit, which in my opinion is a little bit disappointing. I mean, the unit my Volkswagen's got has got that port. It just would be nice to have just one USB port on the front, but unfortunately it's not been designed like that, so you've got to use the ones on the back. So we're going to do that now. So you can just plug your phone cable into either of those, doesn't matter which one. Plug it in, and obviously it'll start the phone charging as well, and it is fast charging, it's not super slow. Now we need to go into the settings. Hang on a second, guys, I'm just getting to the right screen on my phone. So we go into CarLink, and you'll see it's connecting now. It's pretty fast to connect as well. Turn that down. Whoops, turn that down. Go back to the settings. Okay, as you can hear, it's connected to the Spotify on my phone. It's got my Waze and everything there, and my phone contacts and everything. So using a cable, the Android phone actually connects to it perfectly. Let's see if it works wirelessly. Android Auto Wireless. We start by disconnecting the cable from the Android Auto unit, and then we need to go into the Bluetooth settings of the phone and connect to SYU Android, which is the name of the Android Auto unit. Then we just pair to the Android Auto unit, which has already been done here, and now it will work wirelessly. We just go into the app, into CarLink again, and it will automatically just start connecting to my phone. And as you can see, it's now connected. So Android Auto Wireless, yes, it does work. Connecting your iPhone to the unit. As I said before, it's not just Android Auto, it supports CarPlay as well. So we're going to connect the iPhone using a cable. The same scenario as doing it with the Android phone. You just go to your USB connectors at the back of the Android Auto unit, plug into any one you want, and go back into the apps, CarLink, and it will start connecting to my iPhone. Sometimes I find that it's a little bit, oh, this time it wasn't. I was going to say sometimes I find it's a little bit slower to connect to the iPhone than is the Android, but in this case that wasn't the case. So as you can see, that works perfectly. I don't use an iPhone, so this is just a phone I have laying around. I never use it, so there's nothing set up on it, so I can't show you maps or music or anything like that. But I'm just proving to a point that I'm just proving the point that you can connect to this unit for CarPlay using a cable. Can you do it wirelessly though? Let's try it. Connecting wirelessly to CarPlay. Back into your Bluetooth settings. Connect to SYU Android, pair it when it comes up with that message, and don't forget to disconnect the cable from the unit first. Yes, allow all that. Connected. Okay, cool. Now you go back into the apps, into CarLink, and it will start automatically connecting to my iPhone. Use CarPlay. And it's connected. Do not connect to Bluetooth. Right. Again, I've got no settings set up on the phone, so I can't show you music or anything like that playing. But as you can see, it does support wireless CarPlay as well. So that's good. So it supports wired and wireless CarPlay and wired and wireless Android. Okay, I've just had to change the camera angle for this one, which is steering wheel controls. As I said at the beginning of the video, this unit is apparently supposed to support the steering control buttons on the steering wheel, and it does do that, and it works perfectly, as I'm going to now demonstrate for you. So here on my left we've got the up and down volume. Down the bottom here we've got mute. We've got this button down here with the picture of a telephone on, which will take us into the phone system. Actually, before we do that, we will just go back to the radio, and we will try out the buttons here on the right, which will take us through the different radio stations. I don't have anything preset, but if you did, it would go to the stations that you want it to. Right, and now we will go back to the phone button. When we press that, it should take us to the phone system, which it does. And lastly, second to lastly, we've got this button here with a picture of a head and a head talking, and that should take us into the Google Voice Assistant, I think. Try it. What color is the sky? And it brings you up all the results for that, so that's cool as well. And then lastly, there's this button here, the SRC source button. I think that just goes through the 5 main sections on the home page. We'll try that. So it goes to radio, to the phone system, to the music player, and it looks like the music that's currently playing, which there is none, and then back to the video. Yeah, so yeah, as you guys can see, the steering wheel control buttons do work perfectly, so that's another great feature to have working with this Android Auto unit. And for one more very quick test, I'm just going to show those who want to see it, the Bluetooth hands-free system working. I'll just call customer support quickly for my mobile phone, see what it sounds like over the sound system.
Kia no mind, and welcome to One New Zealand. This call may be recorded for quality and training purposes. Any personal information we collect from
We'll
you during
hang up the call at that, I
will
think.
be used in line with our...
Okay, so from what we've tested with that, it does seem to work pretty good as well. Okay guys, I think I have now covered the basics. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot more that this can do, and I'm actually quite impressed with the number of features that this unit actually has. But for the review, I only wanted to cover the basics. I did not want to make a big, long and boring video describing every single feature I could with this unit, and with the number it's got, that would take me literally hours to do. I know a lot of my viewers don't like that, and neither do I. So we have now come to the end of another video. If you liked or found this video helpful in any way, please like and share it, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel for more. I release new videos every week. So until then guys, I will see you all in the next video. Nah, I'm just joking guys, the video's not over yet. The best part of the video is yet to come. I'm going to start putting this car back together now, as there's a lot of work to do. So don't go anywhere just yet, or you will miss out on the test drive. guys, that was the test drive. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, going back to this problem with the buttons, the sport button on the Android Auto unit turns out to be race. The ICE button turns out to be sport. The MSP button is traction still, and it works fine. And the park off button is also park off, and that works fine as well. So a problem that I was really concerned about in the end turned out to be good. So apart from getting the ICE button renamed to sport and the sport button renamed to race, there's nothing else we need to do. Okay guys, we've got the Android Auto unit out of the car again because we've just had an idea with the this button problem. So because the sport button is race and the ICE button is sport, this only applies to the MC Stradale of course. We originally said we were going to get them relabeled on the front, but we thought what we'd try and do is remove the switch panel from the back of the Android Auto unit, because it does look like it removes quite easily, and we'll take the buttons out and change them over that way. So that's what we're going to try and do now. And with the Android Auto unit removed from the center dash again, it looks like that back panel there just unscrews off the button control panel, off the back of the button control panel, sorry. And then hopefully the circle board will just lift out and we'll be able to change the buttons around. Hopefully. Looks like the circuit board just unscrews there. Just set that down there. And the buttons are clipped in, so all you need to do is just unclip them very carefully on the sides and just change them over. Okay, and as you can see, the buttons just pop out the front. So now we can put the sport button to where it needs to be, which was in that hole. And with the ICE button, that needs to be the race button, so we'll just paint that first and put that back into there. They are very, very tight to get out. As you can see, if you slip with the screwdriver, you will cut your finger, and it hurts. Okay, as you can see, the sport button's fitted into the right hole now. The only problem is, I've just realized, if you look closely, it's angled, the button, like it sits higher on this side than it does on this side. If we look at the ICE button up close, they're actually a tapered design. As you can see, it's thicker on one side than it is on the other. So technically speaking, you can't do this to solve the problem. It's not going to affect the operation, but if you don't like your button sticking up a little bit higher on one side, then this is not going to work. However, the customer says he doesn't care about that. As long as it works, then that's he'll be happy with that. So we're going to just continue with this idea. Okay, and now we're back together again, and this is the finished result. This is what the customer wanted to go for. Instead of renaming the ICE button to race, he decided just to change the color of it altogether to green. So kind of like a go fast button. And as you can see, the sport button is now in its right location. These two are always in their right spots from the beginning anyway. So nothing needed to be changed with those two buttons there. Once it's all back together, you can hardly tell that button sits higher on that side, because it actually does recess down a bit further than what it looked like when I was showing you before. And it's the same thing with the race button as well, as you can see. I'm still not 100% sure about the green button for the race, but it is growing on me. But anyway guys, I'm just showing you what the finished result looks like. Okay guys, and now we have come to the end of the video. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel for more. I upload new videos every week. So until the next video, I'll see you then.